The Batman Part 2. Probably one of my most anticipated movies. Not even one of my most anticipated comic book movies, just in general. Movies that I'm so excited for that we're still going to be waiting a while. I think it's been delayed to 2026 now at this point. Can you believe Matt Reeves still isn't done with the script? I mean, dude, you've had plenty of time, but hey, at the same time, I'd rather him take his time and give us the best version of this project that we can get. Because the first movie, my God, it's so good. Fun fact: the first Batman movie I've actually still only seen the once. But actually today I'm going to be watching it for the second time. Um, of course, in preparation for the Penguin. And also, a little fun fact that makes this year special about the Batman is, of course, in the movie, he has his whole like Thursday, October 31st. This year, October 31st is actually on a Thursday. So, a little fun fact right there. If you want to watch the Batman on Halloween night, he'll say Thursday, October 31st, and there you go. But of course, I want to get it rewatched again before the Penguin comes out tomorrow on Max. Of course, we're getting the debut. This is the spin off series focusing on Colin Farrell's Oswald Cobblepot, or Oz Cobb as he's been renamed for the series. And this is another show I'm really excited for. I'm really excited. Obviously, like I said, it's going to be a while since we get the next movie. So this would be nice to kind of tide us over for now and, give us something to snack on for a bit. But of course, still, we're looking for anything we can get with the Batman Part 2. Because again, like I said, Matt Reeves still isn't even done with the script. So we don't really know much at all about this movie. We know Matt Reeves is writing and directing. Robert Pattinson is back. That's about all we know for a fact. I mean, there's been rumors back and forth of different villains that may be involved here, like a Clayface, like Hush, like the Court of Owls. But the other day, Matt Reeves did give us a slight update, other than just that he's almost done with the script. He didn't reveal a whole lot to us, but what he did reveal is sort of the timeline for this universe. So the Penguin, it takes place, I think he said, a week after the Batman. So, of course, the Batman ended with the giant flood on Gotham City, so it looks like the Penguin will kind of follow in the aftermath of that. And then he said the Batman Part 2 will follow just weeks after the Penguin ends. So, I mean, we don't know exactly how long the Penguin will span, but I think the series will be done in is it October or November? I think it's November. Yeah, I would assume it's November. But basically he went on to say that they won't go quite to Christmas or New Year's, but it'll be in that area. So you know what that means? We are getting Winter Batman, which just in general is just an idea that I'm really excited to see. I mean, I just love Christmas, and certain areas, just seeing them snow covered. Like, on my bucket list is to go to New York City during Christmas time, because that is just absolutely magical. One of the things I love the most about that ending scene of Spider-Man No Way Home is not only just that gorgeous new suit, but him swinging around through New York City with the snow falling. It was gorgeous. And one of the things I like about the Gotham City in Tim Burton's Batman Returns is that it does take place during Christmas. There's snow all around. So to get a similar thing here with especially just this really unique, wonderful design that Matt Reeves has for his Gotham City, to see that all snow covered is going to be really, really visually appealing. So that's something I'm quite excited to see. Winter is coming. I mean, in real life, I usually not a big fan of winter, at least past Christmas. It's hype going up to Christmas, but once Christmas is over, if we could just get rid of the snow, I'd be perfectly fine with that. But in the Batman, it'll be cool. And, but of course, and really, it doesn't mean anything, but with this news, a lot of people have been assuming, oh, does this mean we're getting Mr. Victor Freeze as the villain of this movie? And God, I hope so, because I would love this so much, because obviously we've seen Mr. Freeze in live action before. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Iceman Gummith in Batman and Robin all those years ago, which wasn't a great take on the character. I mean, they adapted the story, but he was much more too comedic for the character, for my liking, and for most people's liking. He was also in Gotham. And yeah, so we've seen a couple takes on the character, but I really want to see Matt Reeves' take on Mr. Freeze, which at first you could say, oh, Matt Reeves has said they're keeping things grounded in his universe. They're not going to do any fantastical villains. Well, okay, I get that. Like we won't be getting like a Poison Ivy or anything like that. Um, but Mr. Freeze, I mean, yes, he is fantastical, but there are slight modifications you could do to make him more realistic. I mean, you can just say he's using liquid nitrogen and spraying stuff with that. Um, but man, this would just look so cool. I mean, look at this right here. This fan art looks so awesome. It would be so cool. And also, of course, Mr. Freeze is just such a great story. Going back to The Heart of Ice, that classic episode of Batman the Animated Series that really changed the story for Mr. Freeze and made him such a compelling character. You could really parallel that with Bruce's storyline in this movie. Make it a story about love, especially as Bruce is hopefully in this sequel transitioning his Bruce Wayne persona into being more of the mask, into being more of the playboy, him trying to learn kind of who he is as a person outside of the Batman. And I think love would really play into that because, of course, Mr. Freeze, that's his whole thing. That's why he's doing everything. His wife, Nora, she became sick. He froze her in cryogenesis so that hopefully that would give him time to find a cure. And yeah, it's all about his wife. It's all about his love. Mr. Freeze, he's just a big hopeless romantic. And, introduce an element of that for the Batman. I think that would be really cool. And again, it's just such a great character and such a great storyline that I would love to see Matt Reeves take on this character. And of course, another element of this that we always got to talk about, casting. There's plenty of fan casts out there for Mr. Freeze, like Giancarlo Esposito or Mark Strong. Like, there's some great options out there. All of them would be great. Mark Strong, actually, by the way, is going to be in The Penguin. So he's already taken for the Batman universe. He's playing a younger version of Carmine Falcone. But who would I cast as Mr. Freeze? Because this whole time I've kind of just been on board with Giancarlo Esposito or Mark Strong. Like, those are both great options. But I just saw this the other day. Paul Bettany as Mr. Freeze. Ooh la la. Now this I like quite a bit. Obviously I'm a fan of him from the MCU. But he not only has kind of the look of the character, like just imagine if those glasses were just red and put a dome over his head, but also like he has a very kind of Shakespearean way of talking. I mean, just look at certain scenes in WandaVision, the whole what is grief if not persevering? Or what is grief if not love persevering? Like, imagine something like that coming from Mr. Freeze's mouth. That I think would be absolutely great. And then I saw somebody else make the joke, well, yeah, cast Paul Bettany as Mr. Freeze, and then at that point, just make it a running joke that all of the main villains of the Batman trilogy are just going to be played by actors named Paul. Because, of course, we had Paul Dano as the Riddler in the first The Batman movie. You bring in Paul Bettany, and then for the third movie, why not give us Paul Walter Hauser's Clayface? Boom, there you go. The only question is, who's Paul Rudd going to play? There's options. Maybe a Kirk Langstrom Man-Bat. I'm just kidding, kinda. I actually wouldn't hate that. I can see that. That was just supposed to be a joke, but I'm kind of liking it now. But anyway, yeah. So, of course, this is all just kind of speculation for now. Because literally all Matt Reeves told us was basically it takes place during the winter. Most of us are just jumping to the conclusion and assuming and really hoping and begging and praying that means Mr. Freeze. And Matt Reeves in the past has shown interest in the character, so fingers crossed, because this could be really, really cool. So, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about these updates on the Batman Part 2? Are you excited it's going to take place during winter? Like I said, just even if it's not Mr. Freeze, just from a visual perspective, just the Batman in the snow, that's going to be cool. But if that also means Mr. Freeze, then that gets me pretty excited as well. So, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so you keep up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.